Hello, Astro amigos. Welcome back to Astrology with Ninad. The transit that we have all been waiting for eagerly is almost here. Yes, you heard that right. In just about a month, the north and the south node of the moon, Rahu and Ketu, are finally going to leave the signs they have been transiting in for the last year and a half. This is going to take place on May 18, 2025, and they will keep transiting in these signs till December 4, 2026, another 1.5 year of transit. Rahu, which is known as the north node of the moon, the dragon's head, will leave the sign of Pisces and finally enter the sign of Aquarius on May 18, which it is known to co-rule alongside Saturn. So Rahu will transit in a very comfortable position here. It will be the happiest because it is going to be in its own zone. It is going to go to its own house. So a very powerful and potent transit of Rahu is coming up. Then if we see Ketu, the south node of the moon, the dragon's tail will leave the sign of Virgo, which it has been transiting in for a long time, and will finally enter the sign of Leo. And they are not going to move forward, they will move backward because Rahu and Ketu are always known to be retrograde and not direct. So from Pisces, Rahu will move backwards towards Aquarius, and Ketu from Virgo will move backwards towards Leo. So, since it is a year and a half worth of transit, it is going to have a major and significant impact on the life of each and every individual. And especially if you are running its major or minor planetary period, which is the Mahadasha or the Antardasha, or even the Pratyantardasha, then naturally you will feel the effects very strongly in your life. Or even if Rahu Ketu are exalted in your chart, or they are in their Mool Trikona, or in the sign of great friend, or they are Vargottam, the same position in the D1 and the D9 chart, then also you can expect some really potent results in the time to come. So, these predictions are mainly going to be based on your ascendant, which is known as the rising sign or Lagna Rashi, or you can also see it from the moon sign, which is the Chandra Rashi. Ascendant sign predictions have an impact on the basically actual physical events in life, whereas moon sign predictions have an impact on the mind or emotions of a human being. Both have its vital importance. So I will suggest to watch the prediction from both your ascendant and moon sign, which will give you a better idea of how the different areas of your life are going to be impacted, especially on the physical, mental, and emotional level. I have posted the timestamps in the description box below for your convenience, so you can click on the time that corresponds to your moon or rising sign and watch accordingly. Now, when I discuss the impact of these transits for each Rashi, based on my knowledge and study of Vedic astrology so far, I believe that Rahu and Ketu do not have aspects. They mainly impact the houses that they transit in. And if they are conjunct with a planet, then through that planet, they are going to influence the other houses. So, for example, if Rahu is along with Jupiter in a house, then through Jupiter, Rahu is going to influence the fifth, seventh, and ninth houses from that placement. But in this case, Rahu and Ketu are not really going to be conjunct with any planet for a long period of time, especially Jupiter or Saturn. So I am going to mainly discuss the impact of the houses that they are going to transit in for the next year and a half. So let's get started with the major transit and impact of these shadow planets called Rahu and Ketu for all the 12 signs. For my Aries Mesh Rasi friends, Rahu will finally start transiting in your 11th house in its own sign of Aquarius, which it is known to co rule alongside Saturn. So, this is one of the best placements that anyone can ever want because 11th house is a Upachaya Bhava, it is a growth house where a malefic planet like Rahu does extremely well. And Rahu is in its own element here. It is very happy and comfortable in its own bhava. 11th house also is the house of desires, wish fulfillment. It is the Labhastan, Ichha Purtistan. And Rahu, being in and of itself a very materialistic driven planet, is bound to give you some amazing results in connection to finances, wealth accumulation, inflow of surplus of money. Money is definitely going to be on the cards. Gains from several different sources of income are going to open up for you. Try to identify the key doors of opportunities that Rahu starts to open up for you now. Because Rahu is all about desire and it is in the Kama Trikon. So your desires will become very intense and especially they will be very materialistically driven. And there is nothing wrong with that. This is one of the best placements where if you have any sort of, material desires, whether it is relationships, whether it is finances, growth of your business, career success, then this is the best time to put in that effort, do your parakram, and leave the rest to Rahu because it is here to deliver gains like never before. You will start to see tremendous support from your friend circle, from your social network. If you are into influencing, you are an influencer, then there is no surprise if you start to gain massive following in this time period. Rahu can give you tremendous fame, growth, and success here. If you're employed in a job and you were not getting the sort of growth benefits that you desired, well, things can start to change. You can get the, desired salary, benefits, promotion, bonus, whatever you desire, it can come to fruition. Whether it is landing a new job opportunity at the dream place that you always wanted to work, whether it is getting up to a C-suite level position like a CEO, CFO, CMO, CIO type position in an organization, if your chart also supports that, whether it is abroad relocation, foreign settlement, whether it is getting into relationships, enjoying life, whatever your desires might be, making important and strong influential connections, everything is possible. So try to and network as much as possible because Rahu is a air planet, Vayu Tattva, and it is now going to transit in the air sign of Aquarius itself. It is such a beautiful transit. So any good ideas that you have, any creative, outside the box, innovative ideas, unconventional ideas, don't forget to express those. Bring those forth to the table in terms of your business, career, education, whatever it might be, whatever you are pursuing at this stage of your life, try to think a bit different. Try to think outside the box because that is where Rahu's true power lies. it is in unconventional thinking, but of course, staying within moral grounds, doing things in an ethical and righteous manner, not breaking the law, and always being ethical. Because then you are balancing the Jupiter energies and Saturn energies as well. And we must not forget that for a long time, even Jupiter will be aspecting Rahu. When Jupiter will be in the sign of Gemini, for quite some time, it is going to look at Rahu. So Rahu's energy will also be controlled to a great extent in a very, very beneficial way. So again, Rahu's placement in the 11th house, in the house of desires and wish fulfillment, is here to grant you any sort of desires you have, whether it's becoming extremely rich, extremely powerful, being successful in business, politics, career, job, abroad settlement, relationship area, having a much better social life, feeling more included in different social settings, networking with very important people, making a mark in this society, gaining a lot of fame, prestige, reputation. Everything is possible now. Now let's discuss more about Ketu. Ketu Maharaj, the south node of the moon, will be transiting in your fifth house. So Ketu here will be in an enemy sign because finally Rahu and Ketu consider sun and moon to be great enemies. And there is a whole story behind that. But Ketu finally considers sun as an enemy planet and it is transiting in the sign of Leo. So here, if you want to properly balance the Rahu and Ketu energies in the fifth house, it is all about detachment from the materialistic desires that you will start to achieve. Because Rahu is going to give you tremendous gains and desire fulfillment. But you need to be slightly detached from the results of maybe the effort you're putting in, or maybe just naturally luck is shining on you and you are, being successful in basically all walks of life. You still need to be humble. You need to keep your ego in check because here there is going to be a battle between Ketu and Sun because Sun's energy is very grandeur. It is all about, Sun is the natural Karaka, Atma Karaka, the significator of soul, ego. So ego battles can come into play, whether in relationship with your children, whether in love and romantic relationships, or even marriage, married life. Try to keep a check on that ego. Let it not get in the way of your growth and success, which is bound to come in the coming months. Also, in terms of financial gains, which you will start to see, be a bit careful with high risk speculative investments like cryptocurrency, penny stocks, gambling, betting. Do not throw caution to the wind here because fifth house is connected to speculations. But again, Ketu here is in a very strong enemy sign and it is all about detachment. So Ketu is not going to support you in, making very high risk financial investments because that is where you can lose a lot of money. So be a bit cautious there. But Ketu in the fifth can also really, improvise your creativity. It can take it to the next level. It can give you some ingenious ideas which can help to shine your future growth and success. So use these innovative ideas to your advantage and apply those strategically in your business, job, career, education, or any other venture that you might be doing. And one last thing is even for progeny related area, those women looking to conceive could have a slightly tough time here as well due to Ketu's placement in the fifth. So it is very important for women trying to become pregnant, having, wanting kids, to get the proper advice of a good, trusted, genuine doctor, and then only think about the progeny area strongly, because Ketu's placement in the fifth can be quite a complicated transit in relation to, having children. So I believe these are some of the impacts that the Aries Mesh Rasi people are going to face due to Rahu and Ketu's transit in the next year and a half. Thanks for watching. For my Taurus Vrishabha Rashi friends, Rahu is finally going to start transiting in your 10th house in its own sign of Aquarius, which it co rules alongside Saturn. Now, this is a beautiful placement because it is a Upchaya Bhava, it is a growth house, and a malefic planet like Rahu will only keep giving better and better results in such a beautiful house. It is also a Kendra Sthan. It is a center house where Rahu gets tremendous power. So, the spotlight here will be on your career, on your job, on your professional life. Now is the time to shine, because the next year and a half, Rahu can literally take your life from, like, scratch to the topmost ladder in an organization. It has that kind of power. It can give you tremendous overnight success, fame, and growth. So if your natal chart also supports, and all the alignment is connecting at the same time, then there is no surprise if, if you are in a organization, you can even rise to like a C-suite level position: chief information officer, chief technology officer, chief executive officer. These kind of positions are also within reach now because of Rahu's extremely powerful placement in the 10th house. Any career related goals and desires you have are within reach. Nothing is out of bounds now. If you have any desire, whether it is getting a bonus, promotion, salary increment, job transfer to a different location, or maybe ability to lead a team, become a team leader, anything is possible. If you have desired to relocate to a foreign land for abroad settlement in regards to your job, or applying for a new job where it can, get you the desired location of moving to a different country, definitely it is possible, because Rahu in and of itself represents foreign lands, particularly the west part of the world, different cultures, different, regions, something that you have never experienced before. So a major transformation, a 360-degree change can be seen in your career area. But what does Rahu represent? It represents unconventional thinking, innovation, something out of the ordinary. So if you have any creative ideas, any kind of outside the box, unconventional thinking that could maybe improve a process in your workflow at the organization, it is all about basically work smarter, not harder when it comes to Rahu. So if you utilize this energy correctly, if you bring forth your hidden talents and skills that are somehow hidden deep within you, if you put forth those out, present those to your bosses, to your colleagues, they will start to recognize you. The upper management will start to give you the credit that you deserve. Your prestige, your reputation, your fame, everything will start to rise in society, at your workplace, in your family. People will start to recognize you. They will come to you seeking advice. Because, as we know, even Jupiter's impact will be on Rahu for a long time to come. Because when Jupiter is in the sign of Gemini, it will be aspecting Rahu with its ninth aspect of blessings. So, Rahu's energy will also be controlled and channeled to work in a very, very auspicious and positive direction. So, if you have any career goals, aspirations, dreams, and desires, go after it. Give many interviews. Apply to those jobs or those companies that you always desired and dreamed to work at. And there is no surprise if you get a job offer, because Rahu is here to give. Rahu is here to give you tremendous growth, success, popularity, authority, and self respect at the workplace. Any sort of career related issues will start to slowly disappear, and more better and improved things will start to happen at your job. In the relationship with your father, if there were any issues, those can also be resolved now. That can be certainly remedied. Your father's actually input and ideas can be a game changer for you. So I will actually say to listen to your father, or to your guru, or any father type figure that you might have in your life, a godfather. Take their advice, because it can be very beneficial for you in the long run. And then we see that Ketu, Ketu, the south node of the moon, will be transiting in your fourth house in the sign of Leo. Now, Ketu here is in the Param Shatru Rashi. It is not in a friendly sign. So here, if you need to balance the Rahu and Ketu energies efficiently, there are some rules you need to follow here. One is, do a lot of yoga, meditation, pranayama, because fourth house is finally mental and emotional peace. Without inner fulfillment, happiness, being content at what you do, one's life can be quite miserable. So you need to be happy in whatever you do. You need to feel satisfied and content. And since Ketu is a planet of detachment in the fourth house, it can create some sort of detachment with your work, with your job routine, with your activities in life. So doing yoga, meditation, pranayam, sadhana, engaging yourself in spirituality, in dharma, in religion, will naturally bring that inner peace within you, because fourth house is the first of the moksha trikona. It is connected quite deeply to spirituality, to even religion to an extent. So if you have any sort of inclination towards these things, then definitely pursue that. Students who are pursuing primary education can feel a bit lethargic in their studies, feel distracted. So I will say to focus if you really want to get good grades. This is also a time to be very careful in property and vehicle related investments, whether it's buying or selling of car, or whether it's buying or selling of your house or property or real estate. Be very careful in that area. Also, make sure that your mother gets wellness checkups quite regularly, because Ketu in the fourth can try to hamper your mother's health. So make sure she follows up with her wellness checkups. But overall, these are some of the impacts and effects that can be felt by the Taurus Vrishabha Rashi people. And especially Rahu's transit is looking to be phenomenal for you, especially career and professionally. And with that will naturally come the financial stability and lot of good savings and growth in your money matters as well. All the best. For my Gemini Mithun Rashi friends, Rahu will finally start to transit in your ninth house in its own sign of Aquarius, which it is known to co rule alongside Saturn. So, what does this signify? Well, Rahu, in and of itself, is a very good planet at the basic level for Mithun Lagna, Mithun Rashi, because it is best friends with the ruler Mercury. And now it is going to transit in its own sign in the ninth house. So Rahu is like a bhagyesh for you. It has the ability to control your destiny rising to a great extent. So it is no surprise that Rahu overnight can change your destiny like no other planet, especially in this transit. And mostly it should be in a good way. It should give you a favorable outcome. Your luck factor can rise tremendously during this time. And why is the probability so high? Because Jupiter, as we know, for the most part, or at least for a quite long time, is going to transit in the sign of Gemini, from where it is going to aspect Rahu. And it will be the ninth aspect, the aspect of blessings, right? So, if you have been doing a lot of good deeds in this lifetime, accumulating good karma, then your Rahu and the aspect of Jupiter on Rahu can change your life 360 degrees in a very, very favorable way. It could have to do something with your job, your profession. You can get tremendous success and growth in that. All your dreams, wishes could be fulfilled, or it could do with your business. You could suddenly maybe start a new business which can take off like a rocket, or maybe you have been running a business till now but not really seeing much growth, any profits, so forth. But you start to see some amazing positive changes in that. Or it could be to do with your finances, where you were not feeling that financially stable, but some or the other way you start to make a lot of money. Your gains start to increase. You start to make profits in your business that you have like never seen before. You start to make amazing business deals, transactions, which can take, make you like a millionaire overnight or even a billionaire. It's that kind of a placement. And especially if someone is connected to a very unconventional field, like something related to AI, technology, app development, something where Rahu's energy is into play, but it will be controlled to a great extent for quite some time due to Jupiter's blessings. But especially when Jupiter's aspect will not be there when it transit to the sign of Cancer, be careful of any sort of spiritual leader, spiritual guru, any sort of religious leader or religious teacher, or basically do not blindly follow someone. Otherwise, you know it might not be good for you, because they might not turn out to be legit. And that is especially a high chance of it that happening when Jupiter's aspect is not on Rahu. For some people, their way of thinking towards religion, towards spirituality, might take a very different turn. You could become very unconventional in your thinking pattern. And let's say you are following one religion, but during this transit, you might suddenly switch to following a different religion, or you might just not be religious anymore and you might deep dive into spirituality, or vice versa. So some type of switch, internal switch can be turned on during this Rahu in the ninth house, which can lead to changes on the mental level, emotional and spiritual level, especially connected to dharma, religion, spirituality. But trust your gut feeling, intuition, and follow what feels right to you. Follow what gives you inner peace and happiness. And that is the key to a successful life. Then it can be an amazing, amazing time for foreign travel, international travel, any type of long distance journeys, vacations, voyages can be wonderful during this time. It is one of the best periods for abroad settlement. If you had always desired to relocate to a different country, a far distance foreign land away from your native place, this can be the best period, whether it is in relation to your business, job, education, or even with your family. It is one of the best times to make a move. Even for those students wanting to pursue higher education like master's, PhD program in a foreign land, there is no surprise if you get admission to your dream desired college during this transit. And those who are already, pursuing these higher education programs will achieve remarkable success in the time to come. Then we see that you have Ketu transiting in your third house in the enemy sign of Leo. So here we need to balance the Rahu Ketu energies because Rahu is quite favorable. It also has the blessings of Jupiter, but Ketu will not have Jupiter's aspect. Ketu will be transiting in the enemy sign. So what do you need to do? Well, follow basic principles. Maintain good relationship with your siblings. Avoid unnecessary confrontations. Avoid unnecessary disputes. Try not to make an issue bigger than what it should be, and try to maintain good harmonious relationship with your siblings because that will give you a lot of peace of mind. Because if you get into unnecessary conflicts, it is going to make you quite restless, and your mind will be filled with a lot of unease. Then I will say that overall, do a lot of hard work, put in a lot of parakram, do a lot of effort in whatever you want to achieve, whatever your goals, dreams, desires, objectives, and ambitions are. Go after with it, with full force. But basically, do not count on the rewards or the results of your hard work and effort. Just leave it to your destiny. Leave it to Rahu. He will take it over from there, right? Just focus on what you need to do, whether it's hard work, whether it's thinking wisely, smart decision making, working efficiently, or being assertive, being dynamic, being brave, being courageous. Whatever the action needs to be, that's fine. But basically, do not be too attached to the result. Do not have a lot of expectations, because when you don't have too many expectations, that is where you are naturally going to get magnified rewards and results due to Rahu, because that is desire. But Ketu is teaching you detachment from expectations of getting something when you are putting in the time, effort, and energy into something. Hope that makes sense. One final thing is, I will say, if you need to travel a lot, especially short distance journeys, quick journeys, try to make sure that you really need to go on that journey, like a you know, you really need to make that trip. Otherwise, it might not be as fruitful. So you need to make sure that you're traveling for a reason and not just aimless wandering. So these are some of the impacts that are going to be felt for the Gemini native people. And I wish you all the best. For my Cancer Karka Rashi friends, Rahu will start transiting in your 8th house in the sign of Aquarius, which it is known to co rule alongside Saturn. So Rahu is now going to be in a very comfortable placement. It is going to be in its own house. So the Ashtam Bhav, what does it represent? 8th house is the hidden house. It is the natural house of the sign of Scorpio. The scorpion likes to hide under a rock. So it is quite a mysterious house. And Rahu is in and of itself is a mysterious planet. It is a shadow planet. So this is going to be quite an interesting transit for you, filled with lot of mystery, filled with lot of transformations and lot of quite dynamic changes in your life. And mostly it can be for the positive. The transformations can be quite a game changer in a very favorable way, because as we know, Jupiter's impact and aspect will also be on Rahu for a long time to come, because it will be in the sign of Gemini and it will aspect Rahu with its ninth drishti, which is filled with lot of blessings. So here there are chances of sudden unexpected major gains. It can happen through your business, through your spouse, through your in-laws, through inheritance, through legacies, through insurance settlements, through any type of stock market investments, through any type of lottery, something that is very unexpected. It just happens at the drop of a hat. You don't plan these things. It just happens. As it is known as the house of unearned wealth, the wealth that you don't really earn by your hard work, by your parakram. It just suddenly enters your life and takes you by surprise. It is that type of a placement. And Rahu is the planet that can give overnight massive wealth, massive fame. It can literally take a person from rags to riches and from riches to rags. So 8th house is that kind of a house. So just don't think it is going to take someone from rags to riches, because the opposite can also happen if especially Rahu is very damaged in your chart, Jupiter is weak in your chart, you are not running a favorable Mahadasha, Antardasha, and you are not making wise investments, like you are making high risk speculative investments like cryptocurrency, penny stocks, gambling, betting. This is where you can encounter sudden, unexpected major losses as well. So you need to be cautious. But looking at the positives, yes, Rahu here can give massive wealth, massive fame, overnight success into any field you might be in. It can take you to tremendous heights, and that too without without you planning for it. That is the beauty of this house, is that it just gives at the blink of an eye. Then if you are an individual who has the slightest interest in occult sciences, right, in astrology, tarot, vastu, numerology, palm reading, face reading, any sort of interest in esoteric sciences, do a deep dive during this time. It will give you tremendous happiness, and it can open up a lot of new doors of opportunity for you as well. Because here you are utilizing the Rahu energies in the right way. utilizing the energies of the eighth house in the proper direction. This transit can be a game changer for those people in any deep investigation type field trying to crack a cold case. They might finally crack the case. Or for those scientists who are trying to make a significant discovery or innovation which can revolutionize mankind. So these sort of things can happen, major inventions, great discoveries for the advancement of human beings. This type of research work can be quite fruitful, and even for those students pursuing PhD, postdoc, can make tremendous progress during this time. Overseas travel for business or any voyages for pleasure can also be quite supported during this time. It can also be a great time to get any sort of chronic, if you're suffering from any chronic health issues, it can be a good time to try to find a remedy for that, because this placement can actually help you to find that remedy, because Rahu will be placed very well, and blessings of Jupiter are also on Rahu. So finally, if you're suffering from a chronic health issue, maybe like a medicine can change your life completely, or the doctor can diagnose, find the accurate diagnosis for you, where you can get maybe some good therapeutic natural treatments as well, which will pave the way for your future good health and wealth. Then we see that Ketu will be transiting in your second house in the sign of Leo. Ketu, here the south node of the moon, will be in the Shatru Rashi, in the enemy sign of Leo. So slightly tougher placement. But if you need to balance the Rahu Ketu energies, you need to follow a few principles. Do not let ego battles get in the way between you and your family members, between you and your extended relatives. Try to keep your ego in check, because if you don't, this is where unnecessary misunderstandings can result. Keep a tab on your diet as well. Try not to eat too much of spicy food, or it can generate a lot of heat in your body, which can result in like acid reflux, these type of digestive issues. Also, keep a tab on your savings, on your bank balance, because if Rahu gives you tremendous gains, a lot of unexpected wealth, you need to be able to basically grab that opportunity and capitalize on that and invest it wisely, because Ketu here can try to drain your bank balance if you make the wrong kind of investments, the wrong kind of financial decisions. So be very strategic, be very, you know, focused when it comes to making sound financial decisions. And that is the way you can protect and safeguard your financial wealth accumulation for the long run. So these are some of the effects that can be felt by the Cancer Karka Rashi people, and I wish you all the best. For my Leo Simha Rashi friends, Rahu will start to transit in your seventh house in its own sign of Aquarius from May 18 onwards. So, this is a very powerful and strong placement, because Rahu is known to act like Saturn, correct? So, Saturn is getting big bull in the seventh house. Saturn becomes directionally very powerful in the seventh house. So we can assume that Rahu also is very powerful in the seventh house. And Rahu is now that too in its own Rashi, in its own sign of Aquarius. So a very, very powerful placement in a Kendra Bhava, in the center house. So, with its tremendous power, Rahu can give those people in the business area Massive success, massive growth, and fame is now possible. If you are a businessman, you need to start to think very differently. You need to start to think outside the box. Be innovative, be creative, think unconventional on how you can take your business to the next level. Of course, you need to stay within the legal boundaries and be ethical, but you need to think on how you can work smarter, not harder. So, to utilize Rahu's energies in the right way, you need to start to think outside the box, and you need to start to apply these strategic decisions to running your business and making it more efficient and productive, because that way your products or services are going to sell 1,000 times more than the competitors. So this is the best transit for you to really defeat the competition and rise on top and prove that you are a force to be reckoned with. If you are in a business partnership, then it is a great time to collaborate with your business partner or business partners and have a lot of exchange of ideas, free flow of communication. This is what is going to help your business gain traction, because Rahu is an air planet. It is transiting in the air sign of Aquarius, and Jupiter's drishti, Jupiter's aspect and blessings are also going to be on your seventh house and on Rahu for quite some time. So use it to your advantage in growing your business manifold. There are no surprises if you start seeing profits and revenues exceed your expectations. Those people wanting to start a new business like a startup, this can be one of the best periods. Of course, you need to make sure your natal chart, all these factors support that, but something aligned with technology, novel technology, AI development, any type of high tech field, marketing, advertising, software, consultancy, these type of businesses can start to really boom during this coming time period. Then we also see that a lot of single people wanting to get married, finally it can happen as well. Your dreams might finally come true, but the marriage partner might not be what you expected, as in they can be from a very different culture, background, race, religion, ethnicity. Something that you had never imagined before can happen, because Rahu will be very powerful here, and Rahu is a very unconventional planet. It usually represents foreigners, foreign lands, different cultures, different languages. So the person you might connect to and finally get married might be very different than what you had thought like 6 months before or 1 year before. So be ready to be amazed. It is going to be quite a transformative period for your married life as well. For those people already married, it can be a great time to take your marriage to the next level, to explore different areas of your married life, and how you can improvise your relationship, your married life, how you can, if the spark was missing, how you can reignite that spark. The sensuality will be at its peak. It can be a great time for long distance travel, journey, vacation with your spouse, going on a nice cruise. Voyages are all going to be quite supported during this period. Your communication level with your spouse will be on the next level. It will be filled with a lot of amazing ideas, and you will share a lot of fun, memorable times with your spouse. Then we see that Ketu, the south node of the moon, will be in your ascendant, in your first house itself, in the enemy sign of Leo in your Lagna Rashi. So here you need to balance the Rahu Ketu energies. Rahu can give you tremendous fame, reputation, increase in your financial wealth, abundance of all sorts. But you need to keep your ego in check. You need to be humble. You need to keep your feet on the ground, and you need to make carefully calculated decisions because Ketu is a headless planet. So try not to make headless decisions. Try to stay focused on your goals, objectives, desires, ambitions, and then leave the rest to Rahu to fulfill that. But if you just make impulsive, sudden, hasty decisions without thinking things through, and be it in any area of your life, you're going to get hammered, right? Because your Ketu is in a very Param Shatru Rashi. So you need to make sure to basically implement smart decision making, and you need to properly and carefully lay out your vision and have a roadmap for your future goals and objectives that you want to achieve. Also, try to work on your mental health, especially. Do a lot of yoga, meditation, pranayam, sadhana, spend time in nature, do some gardening, listen to music, listen, chant mantras, tantras, or any kind of do basically involve yourself in doing those activities which calm you down, make you relaxed. You start to feel more peaceful internally. You start to become more focused, and that is where your true success will lie. Because if your Ketu is not going to be properly balanced, then it can cause emotional and mental upheaval. So you need to really work on increasing your spiritual energies at this time, and also generally be a bit disconnected or detached from the materialistic gains and desires that you will most likely accomplish in the coming time. And again, do not let ego battles get in the way of your relationship, whether with your parents, whether with your spouse, whether with your colleagues, co workers, bosses, children, or anyone, right? Be humble, and this transit will do you good. All the best. For my Virgo Kanya Rashi friends, Rahu will finally start transiting in your sixth house in its own sign of Aquarius. So, what does that signify? Well, Rahu will be extremely powerful in the sixth house, and there are multiple reasons for that. Sixth house is a Upachaya Bhava, it is a growth house where a planet like Rahu does extremely well. Its effects and results will only keep improving over time. On top of that, Rahu is in its own sign of Aquarius, which makes it a very strong placement. Rahu is an air planet and Aquarius is an air sign. So the combination of these elements make it very potent. It is also great friends with the ruler of your sign, Mercury. So Rahu in general is a very auspicious planet for Virgo sign. So in the sixth house, it can help you to defeat your enemies, those who had been bothering you and troubling you for a long time unnecessarily when it wasn't even your fault to begin with. Now, with Rahu's presence in the sixth, it will give you the strategic means to defeat not just the enemies, but also the competitors. For those people running a business, or for those people employed in a very competitive job, whether it's sales, right? Especially sales. That is where you will outshine. You will be able to prove your worth. Everyone will start to recognize your hidden talents and skills. The spotlight will be on you because people will be amazed at how much you are able to accomplish in this transit. Leave no stone unturned. Do your parakram, give it your best shot, and then see where Rahu takes you. It can take you to tremendous heights. Like a rocket, you will be on your path to success and growth like you have never seen before. Your everyday work life routine will also get very exciting. Try to make some modifications and changes if necessary, which can improve your efficiency, make you more productive, and in turn, naturally, you will get the rewards and credit for all that you do. It is a great time to involve yourself in any type of sports or any recreational activities because there's a lot of energy accumulation here. So, the more active you are, the more health is going to be good for you. Your fitness levels are going to be really solid during this time. Of course, you just have to put in the effort, and whatever your fitness goals are, whether it is to gain weight, as in muscle mass, whether it is to reduce weight, whether it is to become more toned, lean, whatever your fitness goals are, everything is now achievable. And then it can be a very good time to take any new loans that you want because you want to start a new project, maybe buy a house or travel abroad, go on a nice vacation, uh, or I mean, you don't need to take a loan for a vacation, but I'm just saying to start any major project, buy a new car, or start a business, then it can be a good time to take some loan. But of course, make sure your natal chart, Mahadasha, Antardasha, all these factors are supporting that. It can also be a wonderful time to start to repay those old loans you had taken in the past because Jupiter's blessings will also be on the sixth house. For quite some time, when Jupiter is in Gemini, it is going to aspect Rahu. So you will have the complete blessings and support of Jupiter on Rahu as well. So the energy will mostly be channeled in a very positive direction. Avoid taking any major loans, especially when Jupiter is in the sign of Cancer, because its aspects will not be there on Rahu. So try not to take any new major loan when Rahu is not receiving the aspect of Jupiter. Then it can be a great time to do some seva, some service as well. If you have been long desiring to participate in some social service organization, do some basically help out with your time, effort, energy, then it can be a great time to do some service work and do some seva. Then we see Ketu, the south node of the moon, is in the 12th house in the enemy sign of Leo. So, although it's an enemy sign, here Ketu is in a very good bhava, a placement where it is very comfortable, very happy, because 12th house is all about seclusion, it is all about detachment, it is all about isolation. So, I'm not saying to isolate yourself, I am saying that you need to involve yourself in more spiritual pursuits, whether it is doing at least 15-20 minutes of meditation, pranayama, yoga, dhyan, mindfulness techniques. Doing so will naturally start to channel your Ketu energies in a very positive way. Even maybe going for a nice 20-30 minute walk in the park, doing some gardening, doing cooking, anything that is in way a form of meditation. It is requiring you to be in the present moment, to be detached from the worldly affairs, and to focus on your inner self, which will naturally bring a lot of happiness, peace of mind in your life, and reduce your overall stress. Try to also get some good sleep during this time, because Ketu's placement here can affect the quality of sleep a bit. So I think doing, the yoga, pranayam, going for a nice jog, running, taking a walk in the nature, all these things will help you to maintain a good sleep pattern, because sleep is finally good health, and no health, no wealth. So with good health, with a good sleep routine, you will be able to perform at your maximum capacity level. 12th house is also connected to expenses. So be a bit careful about your expenditure and control your expenses, and avoid unnecessary spending, and try to save as much money as possible. So these are the effects that can be felt for the Virgo Kanya Rashi people, and I wish you all the best. For my Libra Tula Rashi friends, Rahu will finally start transiting in your fifth house in its own sign of Aquarius from May 18 onwards. Now, this is a very good placement, because Rahu, first of all, is a very good planet for your Lagna, for your Rashi, because it is great friends with the ruler of your sign, Shukracharya, Venus. Here, Rahu will be in a trine house, and that too in its own sign of Aquarius, which it co rules alongside Saturn. So it will be quite strong. Rahu is an air planet, Aquarius is a air sign. Both the elements are a good mix and match. The combination is looking to be quite potent. The fifth house is connected to your decision making, to your intelligence. So, naturally, Rahu being such a dynamic planet can tailor your decision making and improvise it to such a great extent that people can be amazed by what you have to offer. So, start to think innovatively, think outside the box, try to be unconventional, because that is the Rahu energy in a nutshell, is unconventional. If you have any brilliant ideas about something that you want to do, let's say in your business, or maybe in your job, that if you do something a slightly different way, it can not just do the not just get the result that you want, but do it in a more efficient and productive way at a faster pace. Because Rahu is, although is known to act like Saturn, Saturn is the slowest moving planet. And Saturn likes to give results at a very slow speed. But Rahu, in a way, is opposite of that. It can give tremendous, massive growth, fame, and success overnight. And this is where you can utilize the energy of Rahu in the right way, is by sharp, clever, and strategic decision making in your job, in your business, in your career, in whatever area of your life where you want to make good progress. Try to bring that creative decision making to the table. Try to basically think outside the box and see how things can be done differently, and think of the way of basically work smarter, not harder. That is the Rahu way. And then you will be amazed at how much good growth and success you will see in the coming time. Of course, you need to stay within the legal limits and legal boundaries and be ethical, but you can do things a bit differently in your business. For example, that can change the whole marketplace. Everyone can start coming only to you, seeking your products and services. That is the type of thinking you need to start doing, and also on how you can defeat your competition. They should just be left amazed with how you have transformed the whole competitive landscape. In the fifth, Rahu can also give tremendous massive gains from speculative investments, maybe the stock market, or maybe any other speculation type of gains can definitely be seen during this time. Of course, not financial advice. Try to, however, avoid any major risky investments like cryptocurrency, penny stocks, gambling, betting, unless you really know what you're doing. Your natal chart supports all these kind of things. Jupiter's blessings are also going to be on the fifth house on Rahu for a long time. When Jupiter is in Gemini, it is going to aspect the fifth house. So, truly a great time for investments in general, financial investments. And if you play your cards right, you can build up immense wealth in the time to come. For single people, strong chances of finding someone and getting into a romantic relationship. But be prepared to be amazed, because that individual can be from a very different background, culture, race, religion, ethnicity, because Rahu represents foreigners abroad, different cultures, languages, religions. So someone you might meet, you might have never expected that, like 3, 6, 10 months earlier, or even all these years earlier. You might have never thought such a relationship was possible or likely. And then we see that those people who have children, right? This is a great time where you should spend as much time as possible with your children, as there can be a lot of amazing exchange of ideas, a lot of beautiful free flow of communication that can make all your lives a whole lot better. Even for teachers and professors, this can be a great time for teaching, as your students will truly applaud your teaching ability and skills, and you will get noticed and rewarded for your hard work and effort. Then we see that Ketu, the south node of the moon, will be transiting in your 11th house in the Labhastan, in the enemy sign of Leo. But still, it is a Upchaya Bhava, it is a growth house where a malefic planet like Ketu will still give good results. So here you can start to see gains from a lot of different sources of income, but try to be a bit detached from that. Try not to have too much ego about your wealth, about your riches. Try to stay, try to be humble. Try to keep a low key. Try not to brag too much in front of your social network, friend circle. And overall, try to just maintain a low key profile during this transit, in a way, especially if you are running Ketu Mahadasha or Antardasha, because some people can get jealous of you, especially your friend circle, your social network. And then I will say there could be some slight detachment and ego battle issues that might crop up between you and your elder sibling. So keep that in mind and avoid any sort of unnecessary disputes and arguments. And that will help you keep your life a whole lot less complicated. So these are some of the effects that the Libra Tula Rashi people can face during this Rahu Ketu transit. All the best. For my Scorpio Vrishik Rashi friends, Rahu will finally start transiting in your fourth house in its own sign of Aquarius from May 18 onwards. So, what does that signify? Well, here Rahu will be in its own element. Rahu is the air planet and Aquarius is the air sign. So the combination of these elements is looking to be quite auspicious. Here, there are strong chances of you reconnecting with a childhood friend, with a very dear, close childhood friend that you had not met or seen or talked to for many, many, many years. Finally, you might be able to reconnect with that individual, and it can bring you a lot of happiness in life. For those people in the real estate industry or real estate agents who are in buying and selling of property, real estate, their charm, their approach to selling will be on the next level in this transit. There are no surprises if some real estate agents break records, in their company and achieve more than, 10 times expected sales targets. Even for individual homeowners, this can be quite a good time for sale of property or, for a profit or purchase of property as well, depending again on your Mahadasha, Antardasha, natal birth chart. You have to look at all those things. But generally, just looking purely at displacement, it can be a good time for real estate property related dealings, especially when Jupiter's impact and blessings are on the fourth house as well. Because Jupiter from the sign of Gemini will keep aspecting Rahu with its ninth drishti, which is filled with a lot of blessings. So naturally, any sort of fourth house related matter will have the good support of Jupiter. But when Jupiter transits to the sign of Cancer, that is the time you need to be a bit careful with property related dealings and avoid, indulging into any sort of buying and selling during that time if possible. Same thing will apply for vehicles. For those automobile showrooms who are running a business, they can expect to sell a lot of cars, especially, you know, these high end cars or technologically advanced cars or electric cars. These can sell at a very fast pace, especially after Rahu transits to the fourth house. And the same thing for individual people, they might, sell their car and upgrade it to a more technologically advanced car as well during this time period. Students who are in the primary education field can do very well in their academics as long as they do not give in to distractions and temptations. They can make very well progress in their studies. Then we see that fourth house also is connected basically to inner peace, mental relaxation, happiness, comfort. So Rahu can actually give you a lot of happiness during this time, a lot of comforts in life, added luxury. All the things that you were desiring can now start to fructify, where your emotional, mental happiness and peace starts to increase. Your stress level starts to go down. But doing some yoga, meditation, pranayam, doing some gardening, taking some relaxing walk in the nature can also help to amplify these positive attributes. Then we see that Ketu, the south node of the moon, will be transiting in your 10th house. Ketu is always going to be opposite of Rahu. In the 10th, in the strong enemy sign of Leo. But still, 10th is a Upchaya Bhava, it is a growth house where a malefic planet like Ketu can do well. So here you can start to get a lot of good growth and success at the workplace with your hard work, effort, and parakram. But do not be too attached to the results, right? So do not be too attached and have a lot of expectations and think that you are going to get 10 times the raise and this promotion and that bonus. Just be humble, have your feet on the ground, keep working hard, keep doing your karma, stay focused, and leave the results to the higher power. And then you will start to see magic unfold in your career and professional life as well. Try to keep ego battles out of, basically, out from the relationship with your colleagues, upper management, subordinates, and even with your father figure. It can be your father, it can be any sort of godfather. Try not to have any sort of ego battle issues in those relationships, or it can take a beating, or it can, be hampered in a very negative way. So keep that ego in check. It is very important. And that way you can maintain your prestige, reputation, and status in society, in your family as well, and at your workplace. So these are some of the effects that can be felt by the Scorpio Vrishchik Rashi people, and I wish you nothing but the best. For my Sagittarius Dhanu Rashi friends, Rahu will start transiting in your third house in its own sign of Aquarius from May 18 onwards. Now, this is an extremely powerful placement, a very auspicious one indeed, because the third house is a Upchaya Bhava. It is a growth house where a powerful planet and a malefic one like Rahu will only give good results, and its effects will only keep getting better and better and improve over time. It is an air planet, and it is also transiting in the air sign of Aquarius. So, this is a very beautiful combination. The element match is phenomenal. So, for you, whatever you touch can turn to gold. What I mean by that is, third house is Parakram. Do your Parakram in any life areas that you are involved in heavily, whether it is business, whether it is career, whether it's education, whether it's building your financial wealth, whether it is, new relationship. If you put in the time, effort, energy, then sky is the limit as to how much can be achieved when Rahu is in your third house. It is a placement for recognition, for uncovering your hidden talents and skills. You will basically be a force to be reckoned with. You will start to become very self assertive, brave, courageous. It can be a great time for people in the field of sports, fitness industry, advertising, sales, marketing, politics, real estate, even IT, technology, communication, AI, novel technology fields, software. These kind of fields can get a lot of boost, and if you are in any of those, then you can achieve massive growth and success in the coming time. A lot of fame can also be seen for those people who are trying to be influencers, who are in that space, who are in any type of public facing role. You can start to gain a lot of traction and a lot of following. So social media can be an effective tool to market yourself, to advertise yourself. And Rahu is the best planet for this kind of widespread fame through advertising and using technology to one's advantage. Here you can start to gain a lot of good support from your siblings. So, there can be a really good exchange of ideas, free flow of communication that can be done, which can further bolster your growth and success in the time to come. Overall, your communication level will be at the peak. Your, whatever you express, whatever you convey, will have a very strong and mesmerizing impact on whoever you interact with. So communication will be your forte, will be your strength. So use it to your advantage. Short distance journeys and travels can be quite beneficial during this time period as well. Overall, lot of friendly relationship with your neighbors will also develop. If there were any issues, any disputes, that can also be easily resolved by just having a free flow of communication and establishing transparency. Because Jupiter, as we all know, will be in the sign of Gemini, from where it will be aspecting Rahu as well, and the third house. So the ninth drishti, the blessings of Jupiter, will also be on Rahu for quite some time, especially when it is in the sign of Gemini. So lo and behold, what I meant was, do your parakram, put in your self effort, hard work, and stay committed to whatever goals, ambitions, dreams, and desires you have, and leave no stone unturned. And the rest, just let Rahu do. Let just Rahu do the rest, and you will truly see the magic unfold with Rahu's immense power in the third house. Literally, your competition will be decimated, your enemies will be defeated, and your confidence will be at an all time high. Then we see that Ketu, the south node of the moon, will be in your ninth house in the enemy sign of Leo. But still, the bhava placement is very good. The house placement is very positive. So, what it means is here you need to develop more of your spiritual and religious interest. Be as dharmic as you can. Follow your duties in an ethical and righteous manner. Try not to take any quick shortcuts, especially if you're running Ketu Mahadasha or Antardasha. Respect your elders. Here, try not to have your ego get in the way between you and your father, you and your spiritual teacher, or your guru. Basically, respect, always show respect, be humble, and Ketu will also shower you with its blessings. For those students pursuing higher education, they can feel a bit of distraction, detachment, lethargy from their studies, from their objectives and goals of their academic aspiration. So try to really focus and stay, goal oriented if you really want to achieve, good progress in your academic pursuits. Then I will say the final thing is that if you had any interest in visiting any religious institution or spiritual place which might be in a foreign land, in or in a far away place, it can be a good time to embark on that as well. Just make sure to do the proper planning and due diligence before embarking on the same. Overall, do yoga, meditation, dhyan, pranayam. It will be very good for you. So overall, this transit of Rahu and Ketu is looking quite positive for my Sagittarius friends, and I wish you the best. For my Capricorn Makar Rashi friends, Rahu will finally start transiting in your second house in the sign of Aquarius from May 18 onwards. Now, what a blessing this is, because Aquarius is a sign which is co ruled by Rahu and Saturn. So, Rahu is in its own element here. Rahu is, first of all, a air planet, and it will be transiting in the air sign of Aquarius. So the elements are a great combination, Vayu Tattva. And then you see that Rahu in and of itself is a very good planet for your sign, because it is known to act like Saturn. Saturn rules Capricorn as well. So Rahu has a soft spot for Capricorn Makar Rashi. In the second house, lo and behold, the house of wealth, the Dhanastan. Here, if you are running the right kind of Mahadasha, Antardasha, Rahu in your chart is very well placed, your second lord is well placed, in good nakshatras, all other factors being equal, Rahu can literally amplify your bank balance. It is an amplifier. So it can amplify your bank balance to the zenith 100 times, 50 times, 20 times, right? So that is the power of Rahu. It can literally expand and increase your bank balance, because even Jupiter from the sign of Gemini is going to aspect Rahu and Aquarius for quite some time. And Jupiter is a planet of expansion. Rahu is a amplifier. So a lot of immense wealth generation opportunities can be seen during this transit. So Rahu can give sudden, massive overnight wealth, overnight success, overnight recognition. So identify the opportunities when they come knocking at your door and capitalize on that. Because Rahu here will give you lots of good money making opportunities. And your Sadhisati for the moon sign people is also over. So here the racetrack is completely clear for you to run at full speed. Again, not that you should throw caution to the wind, because finally you are ruled by Saturn, and Saturn is the slowest moving planet. And as a basic principle, you should always try to be like Saturn. Be very careful and calculative in your decision making, especially financial decisions, because Shani's Mool Trikona is in the second house. So be wise about your money, make good strategic financial investments, avoid high risk speculations like cryptocurrency, penny stocks, gambling, betting. Invest in properly diversified ETFs, or even the stock market if you know what you're doing, and high yield cash account. There are a lot of different avenues where you can invest and generate a solid stream of income for yourself. So explore that, learn, gain more knowledge on how you can increase and expand your wealth, because the time is here for that. It is ripe. Rahu in the second can give you tremendous wealth, no doubt about that. Then we see that there is going to be a lot of improvement in the relationship with your family members, extended family members, relatives. There might be a lot of fun family get togethers, reunions on the cards. So you should definitely attend these social events, because it will give you tremendous happiness. There will be a lot of free flow of communication, exchange of ideas, and you should listen to any good suggestions or inputs that your extended family members or your immediate family might give you. It might be to your advantage. It might be very beneficial to you in the long run to implement those ideas. Then there will be a lot of get together which will involve a lot of eating, drinking, tasty food, and all those things. But be very careful, especially when Jupiter's aspect is not on the second house. Try not to get attached to any temptations, whether it's smoking, drinking, or doing anything basically unhealthy, eating too much junk food. Be very careful of that, because here Rahu can give some sort of addiction tendency when Jupiter is not aspecting it. So you need to be a bit cautious there. Then we see that Ketu, the south node of the moon, will be in the 8th house, in the enemy sign of Leo. But Ketu here will still be in a Moksha Trikona, a good house, especially for upliftment of spiritual and religious pursuits. It is the middle house of the Moksha Trikona. So if you have any spiritual or religious inclination, do a deep dive in that. Study the ancient scriptures, the religious texts, or maybe visit ashram or any kind of religious institution that you follow, and go on a spiritual retreat, spiritual journey. Get to know your inner self. Do yoga, meditation, pranayam, dhyan. Do some relaxing activities that make you very calm and focused in life. If you have any interest in esoteric sciences like astrology, tarot, numerology, vastu, palmistry, face reading, do some research on that. It will give you a lot of happiness, as well as Ketu's energy will start to be channeled in a very positive direction. Do not ignore any chronic health issues. If something was to bother you during this time, make sure to get treatment in a timely manner. Also, there might be some ego battles and clashes between you and your in laws. So be wary of that. Avoid getting into unnecessary arguments, disputes with your in laws, or the matter can go from bad to worse. So try to maintain cordial relations as much as possible, and also be very careful in driving your vehicle. Do not speed and drive. And so these are some of the basically effects that can be experienced by the Capricorn Makara Rashi people. And I wish you all the best. For my Aquarius Kumbha Rashi friends, Rahu will finally start to transit in your own sign of Aquarius from May 18 onwards. It will be in your first house itself, in your ascendant, in your Lagna. A very important placement, if not the most important, because the first house is both a trine and a center house. It is a Kona and a Kendra Bhava. So the effect and impact will be on the next level. Here, Rahu will be quite well placed because it considers the sign of Aquarius to be its own sign. It is known to be co rule between Rahu and Saturn. So, Rahu being an air planet will transit in the air sign of Aquarius. So, the element combination will be very auspicious. Here, Rahu can give you some ingenious ideas, some really unconventional, outside the box, innovative, creative ideas which can take your life to the next level. Whether it is applicable to business, career, relationships, education, finances, will depend on your current life situation. But if you strategically apply these clever ideas and implement those wisely, then sky is the limit as to how much you can achieve in this transit. Because now the moon sign people are also, they have finished the second phase of Sadesati, which is a major relief. The third phase is going to be a whole lot better. You're also going to have Jupiter's aspect on your Lagna as well, because Jupiter, when it is in the sign of Gemini, which it will be for quite some time, it will be aspecting Rahu as well as Aquarius with its ninth drishti, which is filled with lot of blessings and luck. So naturally, your bhagya, your destiny, your luck factor will start to support you. Your overall charisma, your personality will become very dynamic, appealing. People will be mesmerized by the way you communicate, by the way you speak, because you will have a very strong impact on whoever you interact with. Your leadership skills will start to grow like anything. There is no surprise if the overall your natal chart aligns, the Mahadasha, Antardasha, everything. Then there is a very strong probability, if you are in an organization, you're already in upper management level, there is a strong chance you can get elevated to like a C-suite level position, like a CEO, CFO, CIO, CMO, CTO. Like these type of positions are also likely within your reach now. All your desires, wish fulfillment, your dreams, goals, aspirations, ambitions can slowly start to get realized, because Rahu in and of itself is a very highly driven materialistic planet. And that too, it will be placed on your mind, on your head, on the in the first house. So a major part of your life, your destiny will be driven by Rahu. It will be in the driver's seat. So if Rahu is well placed in your chart, if Saturn is well placed in your chart, if Jupiter is also protective, then lo and behold, this is going to be a magnificent time for you. And if you're running a favorable Mahadasha Antardasha, then your destiny, your life can change overnight. You can achieve massive success, fame, name, growth like never seen before. Your wealth prospects, your financial stability will become rock solid. Just avoid any type of high risk speculative investments like cryptocurrency, penny stocks, gambling, betting, etc. if your natal chart doesn't support that. And especially when Jupiter is not aspecting your lagna, that is the time you need to be a bit more careful and even cautious in your overall interaction with the general public. But overall, the transit is looking to be very auspicious of Rahu, and you can practically achieve phenomenal success in almost all walks of life that you are currently focused towards. So, if we talk about, and one last thing I want to point out is focus on fitness, focus on your health, vitality, and work out, do meditation, do yoga, do pranayam, take walks, go for a nice jog. Of course, you need to make sure that your health supports that. You have your doctors okay in doing any sort of high workout activities. But if it is fine, then it can be really good for you because Rahu has a lot of energy, right? There's a lot of power accumulation in your first house. So you need to be proactive, you need to be brave, courageous, and have a lot of ambitions and desires that you need to work towards, that you have to keep doing your parakram, hard work and effort consistently. And do not basically do anything illegal. Stay within the legal boundaries, and even Jupiter's blessings are on you. Then we see Ketu will be in your seventh house, the south node of the moon, in the strong enemy sign of Leo. So here, Ketu in a Kendra Bhav in the seventh house, which means that you can feel some sort of detachment from your married life, from your spouse, or even if you're in a business partnership, there can be some sort of alienation, some sort of detachment you might feel from your business partner. You might internally feel they are not being that supportive, you're doing everything on your own, but it might just be something to do with the Ketu energy. So try to just relax, try not to think too much about it, and try not to get let any ego battles, ego related issues get in the way of your marriage, of your business partnerships, of any major interactions you have in your business, in your career, in your day to day activities with anyone. Try to be humble, stay grounded, and do not let any sort of ego related issues damage your relationships. It can be a great time to do some long distance travel, journey, vacation to foreign lands. If for business related purpose or even for career related things, it can be a great time for abroad travel. And even for some people, abroad settlement and relocation can be on the cards in regards to moving with your family, for your career, education, or even your business. So these are some of the effects likely to play out for my Aquarius Kumbha Rashi friends. Overall, a good transit for you. I wish you the best. For my Pisces Meen Rashi friends, Rahu will finally start transiting in your 12th house in its own sign of Aquarius from May 18 onwards. So, what a relief! Because for the last year and a half, it was in your Lagna. Now it has finally moved out and is now in the 12th bhava. So, what does that signify? Well, for a lot of people living abroad in foreign lands, there can be a sudden uptick in destiny rising, whether it is getting enormous growth, success in your job, in your career, or maybe you're running a business even in the homeland, but it has to do with, import, export, or to do with, lot of foreign related dealings, then you could start to see some really major profits, increase in revenues unfolding. For those people who have long desired to settle in a foreign land, whether for job or for career or moving with their family or even for education, this can be a golden opportunity to finally make that happen. Especially if you are running Rahu Mahadasha or Antardasha, or even the Pratyantar Dasha, and if Rahu is very well placed in your chart, if it is very strong, then the desire is strong. And if it is especially in the ninth, seventh, 12th houses, then there is a very good chance that this Rahu transit can open up the door of opportunity for you to relocate to foreign lands. And it can even be a sort of permanent relocation, because 12th house is the house of permanent emigration to foreign lands. Long distance traveling, journey, vacation can be excellent during this time. So if you had planned for it for a long time, but it was not fructifying, well, lo and behold, this can be one of the best time to embark in, long distance journey, travel, and vacations that you have been desiring. Overall, there can be a lot of expenses on the cards as well, but it can be for things that you enjoy and desire, whether it is shopping, whether it is going for movies, fine dining with your, partner, going on romantic dates, going on a nice luxury cruise, foreign travel, buying a new car, property related dealings. There can be expenses, but it can be again for things that you enjoy, that you desire, because Rahu here will be well placed. And not just that, it will also be receiving the blessings and the luck factor of Jupiter, because Jupiter, your Lagnesh, your ascendant lord, will be in the sign of Gemini for the coming quite some time, and it will aspect Rahu and the sign of Aquarius. So even the expenses can be directed towards dharmic yatra, which means basically spiritual retreats, religious visits to maybe at mandir, masjid, church, gurudwara that is maybe far distance away from you, that you always wanted to visit because it holds a lot of importance to you, a lot of value to you. So basically, some expenditure in spiritual, religious pursuits, or even with some dan, dharma, with some donations, charitable activities can be seen. So helping out the poor, needy can also help you accumulate a lot of good karma and blessings during this time. And then, of course, go deep down within spirituality, explore that realm. If you are interested in reading religious scriptures, if you are interested in any esoteric sciences, occult sciences, then engage yourself more in that. It will give you a lot of happiness. Then we see that Ketu, the south node of the moon, will be directly opposite in the sixth house in the enemy sign of Leo. But this is a very good placement because the sixth house is a Upchaya Bhava. It is a growth house where a malefic planet like Ketu does very well. So here, with your parakram, hard work, effort, you will be able to kind of override the competition, suppress the enemies, and do very well in your day-to-day job, day-to-day routine. At times, you might feel a bit detached, lethargic, disassociated. Try to and try to stay focused on your goals, ambitions, desires, as they can certainly get fulfilled in the coming time with your parakram, with your hard work, and with your effort. Try not to let ego battles get in the way, especially when it comes to your career, especially because if the ego battles get in the way, it can create a lot of friction and it can turn some people into even enemies. So you need to be very watchful of that. Try to be very careful when it comes to taking any major loans. Avoid doing that if possible, unless your natal chart, Mahadasha, Antardasha support that. Instead, try to focus on repaying past loans that you had taken so that eventually you can be debt free. Try to maintain fitness levels, try to work out, stay fit, and eat a good, healthy, balanced diet. Do whatever it takes to maintain good health, because if you let it slip, then things can spiral out of control and you could suffer from health issues if you are not careful with your overall daily routine. So keep a tab on that. But these are kind of some of the effects that can be felt by the Pisces Meen Rashi people. I hope this transit does good for you and I wish you all the best.